Training myths are everywhere, they're all over social media, and they can have a massive negative impact on your training. Today we're going to go over 5 that you should avoid. So the first one is that if you're tired, that means you've had a good session, and if you're not tired by the end of it, that means it wasn't a good session. So when it comes to strength and conditioning training, your main focus should be getting into the gym or getting to the track, wherever it is you're going, getting the stimulus that you need and getting back out. Particularly for like strength sessions, speed sessions and stuff, you shouldn't come away being absolutely bust unless it's like the off season or you don't have any training, no games, anything like that. Second, that you mix in the fact that you've got training, you've got games, you really need to tailor this stuff so that when you come out of the gym, you're not feeling bust. If you're constantly going into the gym, coming back out, and you're always knackered, you're completely bust, you went 100% every single session, not only is it going to have a negative impact on your training, but it's also going to have a negative impact on you in terms of the chances of picking up injury, the chances of having poor recovery, and just not really being able to put 100% into the sessions that you need to. There comes a point as well where no matter how much more you do, you're not going to get any more out of it. So say that threshold is 25 reps. It's not, but just for talking sake there is. You do your 25 reps at 100 kilos and you get the most stimulus that you can get for that session, so you're not going to get any more. The continuation of just doing more and more sets, even though you're getting more reps done, it's not doing any more for you, it's just making you more tired. And again, if you are playing sport, that's something that you can't have. Everything has to have a purpose, and you need to be getting something out of everything that you do. It's equivalent to having an empty glass and a jug full of water. You can keep pouring the water into the glass. Once it's full, you're not going to get any more water into it, it's just going to overflow. And that's basically what you're doing when you're putting in these sessions. When you've gone past the point of getting a meaningful stimulus, you're just doing more. Examples of this are doing things like 10 sets of 10, or like killer arm sessions, or where you're picking like 4 exercises for one muscle group. You're just overdoing it and you're not getting any more out of it. The next myth is that feeling your back when you're doing deadlifts or RDLs or whatever is bad for you. So when you think about just about every other muscle in the body, whether that's biceps, back, quads, etc. Whenever you do an exercise that's targeting these muscles, everybody always thinks, oh, I need to feel the muscle working. If it's not working, then I'm not doing it properly. But the second that you feel your back when you're doing a deadlift or you're doing an RDL, you think the opposite. You're like, oh, I must be doing it wrong because I can feel my back. You can kind of see where these two ideas, they don't really match up and they don't really make much sense. It's totally fine that when you're doing an exercise that utilises your back, you can feel your back. That is the whole point. And you'll probably find if you've not done tons of RDLs, you've not done tons of deadlifts, you've not done tons of exercises where your back is either a limiting factor or the exercise itself is targeting your back, you are going to feel it for a bit. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. You're trying to work it, you're trying to improve it, you're trying to get it stronger, so you're going to feel it working. So another myth we're going to go over is that machines aren't for athletes. This one you see a lot on Instagram from certain pages, and they kind of demonise machines based on the fact that they're not functional, you know, they have a fixed path, etc. But this all goes back to what I kind of preach a lot, is that you're trying to train general quality, so it doesn't really matter what implement you use to train that quality. So for talking sake, if you're trying to improve lower body strength, does it really matter whether you do a Bulgarian split squat, back squat, safety bar squat, or you do something like a leg press? Does it really matter? Probably not. Your lower body doesn't have really any idea that you're doing leg press. It just knows that you're asking your quads and your calves and your glutes, and depending on the exercise, your hamstring. It just knows that you're asking that to take on load and get stronger. And again, at the end of the day, that's all we really care about. If you play contact sport, I can guarantee you that you have never been hit by someone who's big and strong and going, oh, they definitely do barbell back squat, there's no way they do leg press. It doesn't make any sense. So again, it always goes back to, what are you trying to improve? If you're trying to improve upper body strength, doesn't matter whether you use a barbell or a machine, definitely not. You might find you get a little bit more out of machines just because you can push yourself a little bit further, because they usually have an added element of safety and a little bit extra stability. But that's not a slight on free weights either. Like, whichever one you enjoy, you go for that. It really doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're working hard and you're putting the reps in. So the next one is that athletes shouldn't do bodybuilding training. So I'm going to put a picture of DK Metcalf somewhere on the screen. I'm not really sure where it'll be, but you can see that he is in phenomenal shape, absolutely phenomenal shape, and I certainly wouldn't want to be hit by that guy. Now, if you can honestly tell me that you don't think being built like this is going to be beneficial for a contact and a combat sport, you're absolutely off your nut. Not only has he got tons of armour on him so that when he gets hit by big guys, he's got a little bit of protection for his bones and his ligaments, etc. It also means that when he hits people, he's dealing out just as much damage too. Having some bodybuilding training is also going to improve your chances of getting stronger as well, because the more muscle that you have on your body, the easier it is to improve strength. And it's pretty enjoyable, and you'll probably look fucking sick if you do it as well, so that's another good reason. And the last myth we're going to go over is that strength training is going to make you less flexible. Again, I'll probably have a picture on the screen here of Klokov and other incredibly flexible athletes who basically only do strength training. But what you'll see is, if you look at like something like an RDL, there's a big stretch on the hamstrings when you do that, and it's increased by the fact that you have load there. So it gets you into these stretch positions, and it keeps you there for a certain length of time, and thereby improves your flexibility. And if you look at someone like Ranger Strength on Instagram, you can see just how versatile weight training can be and how easy it is to use it to help improve your flexibility. Where people tend to get this idea from that it's going to make you more stiff is when they're looking at top level elite powerlifters, really usually pretty big guys who basically need stiffness to lift the most amount of weight that they can. But that's a completely different goal than what the average athlete is aiming for. And really, for me, all you need to do is look at Olympic weightlifters. You've got guys who are 140 kilos and they're incredibly athletic and they're incredibly mobile. So if they can be flexible after 20 years of strength training, I'm sure 3 sessions a week for you is going to be more beneficial than it is harmful. So yeah, hopefully that's been helpful for you guys. If you've got any myths you would like me to go over, just put them in the comments. Again, down in the description, there should be 30 days of free emails, a free off-season program and a free in-season program. So go and check them out if they are helpful for you. And yes, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!